Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and this is the designer for From the Depths. And don't do a little building today, a few little things that are running through my mind as such. Okay, a couple of little builds. I obviously have put comments in the previous episode about which type of big ship to build now, but I want to build some smaller support vessels aimed at specific enemies or types of enemies we're receiving at the moment. So basically adapting some of our existing ships or creating new versions. So, but small, able to bring in, cheap to use. First one, so let's first analyze it, hopefully, and then we'll go on to the build and then eventually the testing. There will be time codes down below in the comments if you just want to go straight to the relevant sections. So, first of all, the basic problems. First of all, most of the ships we are currently fighting against, or have problems with certainly, fit into a number of categories. Sometimes they're mixed and sometimes they're together. Right. First of all, the large ship. We're looking at a system or a vehicle which is very large. You know, something like the what was it? The Retaliators, I think 13,000 blocks, and some of the other ones are about. We've seen up to 18,000, but you know, sea vessels of around the 8 to 13,000 block period. So that's one type of vessel. The other one is fast vessel. That could be big, but might be a bit smaller. But fast, high-speed vessels. Now they're either this covers a couple of areas: flying and also sea-based. They're both a problem. You know, hitting them obviously with speed, something with speed, and being able to chase them down effectively. They just tend to get away from us a little too easily. So we can't damage them and have a chance of slowing them down. So we're going to look at those various things. The other one is flying. I was going to say, and sometimes that's mixed. It's flying high speed, flying very large, you know, that type of combination. So let's what I'm thinking of is, first of all, let's look at the PT boat. We're going to use that basic design, the PT Turtle, and first one I think we'll look at is how to attack something which is potentially fast, but primarily very large. Now, when we're talking fast, we're going to say up to about, we've seen things up to very fast, so up to 80 meters a second, but initially we're going to say large vessels of up to, say, 30 meters a second. But the main bit is on them is they are very big and take a while to blow up. So my basic theory is, what we need to do is close very quickly on this 30 meters per second ship, and then deliver a massive amount of ordnance onto that ship at close range, or with a fairly guaranteed chance to hit as quickly as possible. So my thought is, at the moment, the PT Turtles, they're fairly quick, although we can work on the speed. We're going to see if we can get the one of the PT Turtle a little quicker. Maybe get it up to about 40 meters a second on the surface, without it doing too many wheelies, hopefully. Wheelies are okay if it gets damaged, but not if it's not damaged. But okay, 30 meters per second, so 40 meters per second we're aiming at, and then it's going to get close, and we're talking about maybe 200 meters, 250 meters. At that point it will slow down, and it will stay at that range. If the vehicle is faster and goes away, it will speed up again to get to the 250, then it will slow down and 250. So it will sort of speed up, slow down around that 250 meter mark. So that's our plan. And then at that range, or just before that range, or around that range, it will deliver some significant ordnance. So we're going to be looking, I think initially we'll look at the sea vessel. So how about a nice big torpedo, or 6? Yes, about 6 very big torpedoes with silly amounts of explosives and fragments and all the rest of it like that, just to blow the crap and the bejeebers out of whatever it comes across. And I'm going to work some alternative bits with the fragments. So when it comes to the torpedo system, have a look on there. I'm going to work on something with fragments to make a penetration missile, penetration torpedo for attacking under the water. For have a look at it. We'll see if it works. It's a work in progress. So let's start building the base. So the first point we've got to get, we've got 2 sections here. One, we might need some secondary armament on it, so we might put a small cannon on it as well. So we're going to have just 2 armaments. Yes, 2 armaments and the torpedoes. Torpedoes being its primary weapon. Shape-wise, we'll go with the PT Turtle, maybe elongate it a little bit for speed. So let's go into our building, and we will create a new vehicle and get away from the platform a little bit. I was debating about whether to use things such as electric engines for some things, but I haven't really experimented enough with the electric engines as yet. It is a thing on my books that I want to look into for drones and a few other bits and pieces, but it's not really a priority at this moment, and I need to just get my head around it before I start doing them. Okay, so design wise, we're going to go for a fairly flat bottomed vessel, I think, on this. Try and make it skip along the water a little bit, something like that. Now actually I'm debating that now. Maybe we should make it slightly long and thin to get that the speed up, okay, and not worry about the width. So our engines and everything are going to have to be a long, thin design. Now we're going to have to watch out, obviously, for its stability. Is going to be a problem. We've seen how the current turtles do like their wheelies, so we're going to try a slightly different hydrofoil design, which I've seen used elsewhere successfully, and that's a front ski type design instead of a full length design, so it's slightly front heavy. Okay, so we're going to go there, and then basically we're going to put a few hydrofoils here on this front bit rather than all the way through the center, so it basically tries to go off the floor a little bit. We're also possibly going to use jets as well on the rear, so we'll look at that. Now obviously we need a bit, it's got to survive, it's mainly to be made of wood, turtle design, but the underneath part at least will be mainly metal. Now we need enough room, let's think this out. We'll do the usual planning section on this. Now shields, we will need a little bit of shields, primarily at the front. Where it's going to need shielding is as it's closing with the enemy at about 45 degrees, which tends to be the thing. It's going to need a bit of shielding along the side and in the front so that it will bounce any damage as it's approaching the enemy. We'll also then need shielding after that. Once it's in range, it will go into the water. Sorry. Most of its defences will come from sheer speed and being erratic in the water. At least that's the intention. at this moment. We will see how that actually works. Yes, we'll have to see. Now, one thing we're going to have to work out, if we have this as a high movement ship, i.e. it goes out of the water and goes fast, there's a potential that it will stop being able to use a rudder to navigate. I'm already thinking this ahead, so we might have to find a way of either using jets or some other means, but we'll see how that works once we get the speed up. Right, primary building then. Let's work backwards. If we're going to have the engine at the back as per normal, AI around about this area, about just behind the center, we're going to need the torpedoes. Now we can either have the torpedoes sticking on the outside of the ship, which I'm suddenly liking the idea of, or we can have them on the inside so they will be resistant to damage. Yeah, damage on the torpedo, or we could just put them all the way along the front. The current Turtle has them just below the surface. I'm sort of split on that. Yeah, okay, if we put them on the surface with here with an ejector, but I do like the idea of having them sort of laid out just on the top decking. The only problem with that is any damage would destroy the missile blocks, and then when it tries to fire another time, basically it blows itself up, which is not good. So I think we'll go for 5 very large torpedoes here. So first of all, let's sort out these torpedoes then. Missile system. Now, how many blocks are we going to go for? Now, I did say this was going to be a stupid sized missile. So 12? 12 is 12 stupid enough, or should it be bigger? Let's go 14. Let's go stupid. This is like so big it's not actually going to be practical, but it will be fun type stupid. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Have not, yeah, yes. This sounds like a good idea. Now, obviously, being this number, it will take 28 seconds to reload. Which is, yeah, we want to make sure that it hits. So we're going to launch these in a very fine cone at very close range on our target. And that's its only job, is to get close enough to launch these buggers, because it's going to be expensive. They're going to take a long time to load. So we've got to make sure they hit at least something. You know, once. It would be it'd be a good idea, especially for oops, we don't need that there. Take off the mirror line for a minute. Put the identify friend and foe so we don't hit our own ships. That's always a benefit. And we'll put we don't need a stagger. Okay, so these are ludicrously long missiles. Ludicrously long missiles. Try and say that 20 times fast. No, I'm not going to try it. I'm not that stupid. Right, okay, let's just yes, I'm already putting this in, and I haven't put the mirror line in first. There we go, thank God. Right, there we go. We might need to extend the back, but we'll see. We might put our chair or something actually above the missiles, and the AI somewhere here. Does mean that obviously if we get any sort of damage, the whole frigging lot will blow up, but that's a potential hazard anyway. So there's a good chance this whole thing will blow up in our face anyway. Okay, so what we're going to do, missile, let's see, torpedoes. Right, guidance. Now we're going to use infrared guidance because, whoops, let's put it in the front. Infrared guidance is generally better than sonar. Sonar, I've just not had, problems basically. Now it's just going to go for centre of mass, although what I might do, I'm going to put a camera in this, and then not go for center of mass. We are gonna go for random block. Now at the moment these numbers don't seem to have any effect. I think they're placeholders for possibly future items, so I'm just gonna put them at there for no apparent reason. Again, warhead aiming time, I would like to have a delay on this, but it's not working at this time. So okay, we've got this is going for a random target. Now we'll need a proximity. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. About here, so that we have a fair guarantee of hitting the target. We will need a ballast tank to put it a couple of meters under the water. The reason for that, twofold for using the ballast tank. Number one, by being underwater, the enemy lambs will not target it. So it's got a better chance of getting to the target, which is obviously positive. The other one is that it will just aim it at the base of the ship, so going for the hull. We've got the five size proximity here, so it will actually go to about 4 meters out of the water. One thing I've noticed is these angles on this proximity fuse are not great. They all go a bit weird at times. I'm using proximities. I know I said I was going to do that for FPS, but here we've only got 5. We're not sending out 60, which was causing problems with another one where I had about 60 or 70 missiles. We've got 5. That will be fine. Okay, what else do we need? Propellers. We'll try 6 and 4 fins. We'll just put 2 fuel tanks in. I think that will be enough, and a 1 turn. I think that will be enough to propel it along. If need to, we'll check the speed, because we do want the speed to be around 30, so it will catch up with and attack, or actually a little bit more than 30, so that it will actually chase and catch up with our enemy. We'll give that a test in a little while, just to test the speed when we get into the testing area. We can adjust this by putting more propellers in, or fins, etc., to increase the target. Right, warheads. Explosives, yes, we want explosives. Now, that's too many explosives, and I'll take some of those off in a second. We want, and then fragments. Actually, for explosives, 3 is enough. So the other ones are going to be special fragments, which we'll work out in a second. So next one, fragment sizes. We want some armor penetrating fragments down the bottom, and then we want them to start fanning out. So there's a lot of fragments going to be coming out of this when it hits up to 45 degrees. There we go. Now these ones these are going to be the alternative. So we've got this frag offset. So what we're going to make them is an armor piercing, but then offset it by a degree, by 15 degrees. So we're going to set this first one off to 15 degrees, and that should, if my calculations are right, 15 degrees up. So it will go 1 degree, 15 degrees up. So the next one will do 1 degree at 30 degrees up, and the next one at 1 degree 45 degrees up. So these are basically a cut through the top of the ship, basically. And I'll do one more. Actually, I'm going to do one more fragmentation here instead of an explosive fragmentation, 1, and put that at 60 degrees. So we're going to give that a attempt and see how that works with these cutting sort of fragments. I think it's a good idea. Okay, let's just come out of here. Okay, next element on here. So that's those hopefully sorted. Did I put a 1 turn in? I did put a 1 turn in there, just in case we're not lined up properly. Yep, excellent. Right, now the other bit, we aren't going to start them, so I'm here going to sort out the behaviours. So this if we haven't mucked around with them before, defines at what point the weapon will target. Now, first of all, you see the marker, I've increased the size to 10 to make that as big as possible. Now, what the first part is azimuth, which is the left and right, basically, of the center. Now, the infrared has a 60-degree cone, so we want to make sure that, first of all, this only fires within 30 degrees of the target. Yes, I have got a 1 turn, but I want to make sure these are expensive missiles. Basically, I want to make sure they have the best possible chance of hitting our target. Now, elevation, this isn't too much of a problem because that's defined by the water, really. So as long as it's in front of us, effectively. So we can type this in 90 and put 90 in there. So you can now see with those arcs that it will only fire those missiles when it's in front in that 30 degree. So it means that if we're side on to the target, we're not going to start firing at them. And there is one other thing I have forgotten to put in there. What I want to do with this 1 turn, I want to put a target precision, some target precision guidance, so it will try and aim it at the target a little bit better. So which one, we're going to have to forego something for that. Our regulator I don't think I'm going to need, we'll check that out later. So we've got the 1 turn. I'm just going to put it in, I'm going to remove one of the explosives. Yeah, remove that for the moment, and we'll see how that works. That's just so that if we have got a fast ship, it will fire and then at least aim at where they're going to be rather than just do a tail chase on it. Okay, we will need other bits. We haven't got the AI ready yet, but we're going to need a controller, obviously. I say obviously, it's not obvious until it's obvious. Right, we'll put the controller in, we can actually put it over here, but we will put it, can't put it on top, it's going to have to go behind. There we go. And then we will have to put in a failsafe. Now the reason I'm putting in a failsafe, bloody great big large missile, if something here gets blocked and doesn't get repaired quick enough, next time it fires, blows the whole ship up. So can't be having that now. The other bit I should put into maybe a safety. We'll look into that, see if we start blowing ourselves up. There is one other thing we can put in there. Right, we'll put the receiver. Now I'm going to get this all low level, and because of the mirror line, it's put 2 safeties in there. Don't need 2 safeties, I don't think. There we go, channel 1. Okay, now we've got room for a bit of engine at the back. Not much, but a bit. What we're going to do now is cover these up a little bit, just to give them a little bit of protection. And to protect the AI, which is going to go above these. So they're going to go there, and here. Excellent. Okay. Go a bit along the side. Goody goody. Right, we'll smooth that off in a little bit. So above here, we're going to have the AI, I think. Where should we put that? Or we could actually just put the, instead of having this transmitter here. Okay, this is the other option. Take that transmitter out here, but we need the, yeah, take that there, and we can put the AI all together here. All together now. Right, AI, and then we can put our left and right card just in there, and then put our naval AI and our target prioritization in there. So okay, that means we haven't got to worry about, makes it a little cheaper. Not much, but makes it a little cheaper. We possibly might still need, we will still need a transmitter, although actual fact we can set our AA gun, our little gun, to have its own AI as well. Yeah, why not? Give it 2 AIs. there. I've noticed that's also another bit I was going to change on some of our thing, is split up the AIs, make it a little bit more difficult to target us on occasion. It does seem like they do aim for the AI on occasion. Having two AIs means that, well, we've got two AIs. More difficult to take over and hit. So that's that section done. As I say, don't know if that will be effective. Maybe we should test it. What I will do is put this on a particular firing button. Q, we'll put it on button 5 so that we can give that a little test. Just to see how fast these missiles are now. To do that, what should we do? We'll just go for a very simple test. I'm just going to put a chair in here. Nothing fancy. Go into that, and then we're just going to do this. Do that. Go to number 5 and fire. Oops, I have not put any resources in here. I need to put a resource collector. Let's just see if I can do that. Put an resources and ammo barrel. Otherwise, it doesn't like to fire unless there's at least an ammo barrel or 2 available. So we'll just put a couple of ammo barrels in there at the moment. Right, we'll take it out of the water one more time, because it's not fair if it's halfway out the water when we go to fire. Let's see if this will fire this time. Take that out there, take that off. No, it's not wanting to fire. Ah, there we go. Right, let's see what speed we get. So, forwards velocity is 15, 16. Okay, so we would need a lot more propellers if we want to get that speed up. Our distance is good. So it's not worth farming at anything faster than 15, quite simply. But even with that one fuel, look at the distance we're getting. 800, nearly. Oh no, we've got 2 fuel in now actually. We're getting over 1,000 meters. So we could set it up like that, but it's not what we're aiming at. Okay, let's. Oops, I better get him out of the water. Yes, he's basically a bunch of metal at the moment, so no wonder he's sinking. So let's just have a look at these missiles. So let's put some more propellers in there and see what we need. And only one fin, so it's not going to really move around. Let's give that one a go now, shall we? Let's give that new design a go. So I've got to be actually close with my camera, otherwise it didn't like it because the aiming was wrong. There we go. Let's see if we can fire. Heard that fire. Okay, we're up to 20. So obviously some diminishing return. Let's just see what distance we get with the fuel. And we get with one, we're getting up to 400 meters. For about nearly 500 meters. And 20. Right, that's less than we were hoping for, but I think that's just due to sheer size. Okay, that's fine. We'll go with it. I'm going to go with it. We'll modify our design parameters a little bit for this. So this is going to be then up to 20 meters a second attack profile, allowing for some prediction. I might just put one more fin on there because I don't think that's going to be enough. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's going to aim straight at them and get in there as quickly as possible. I mean, what's the worst that it can do? If it does end up being only going for slow vessels, then fine. I've got a theory. I've got an idea. How about this is the primary, what if we have a secondary torpedo, which is basically a high-speed torpedo that goes and tries to take out their engines? Sound like a good plan? Yeah, maybe just the high-speed side. So this will take them when they've slowed down a little bit, and then so yeah, I like that. I like that idea. So what we will do is say, right, this is going to have we're not about minimum range, but it's going to have, we have a little minimum range, so about 50. I don't think it wants to be firing it closer than that, and a maximum range of say 300 for the moment. I'm going to say that's going to be our shooting range. Whoops, come down here. So we're going to say we're going to shoot at 300, and minimum altitude don't worry about, but maximum altitude we're not going to shoot at something which is more than say 5. Yeah, and this maximum altitude is actually based upon the position of their AI, not actual the ship position, from what I can gather. And maximum speed, so we're not going to engage if they're faster than 20. Yeah, 20, that was good. And obviously big targets. There's no point in firing if there's nothing left to shoot at. So okay, that's fine. So that's the requirements for that that particular missile. Excellent. So next, weapon system. We've got two more weapon systems to look at. A cannon, AA gun, which I might put on the rear. Actually, I've got a hankering for, and this secondary torpedo. So we're going to have a second torpedo system coming through here somewhere. So let's just finish off a little bit at this front. Let's see, what would we need to have at the front here? We need some blocks, metal, some just basic upward blocks there. Yeah, that's good. Say like that, and then the rest of them going down across in that particular way. Okay, and then some normal metal blocks in here. I haven't put the mirror line on, but I'm not going to worry about it at this second. I'm going to do this because the blocks these are more resilient. We'll put them there, and then we'll put normal blocks just about here. Okay, so now I need some, let's call them high-speed chasing missiles. They're going to be fired at a longer range, but these are going to be, the aim is to make these significantly faster. Not much explosive, possibly just a load of fragments, one explosive and a load of fragments, and their aim is to take out the enemy's engines, to slow them down so that our main missiles can hit. So let's just see what we can do in that regard. Let's get this facing the right way. So let's see, we've got that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just try a 6-point missile. So we're just going to have 3 of them, and some blocks. So this is going to be a big missile boat. It should be in a submarine, but because it's going to be a PT boat because we want to do that chasing issue. Okay, let's put some missile connectors here. Now, as you can tell, I haven't planned this out totally all in advance. I'm doing this as we go along, because you're seeing, as I'm working it out, you are seeing what I'm working on. I think that's good. I like that idea. Now this, again, we're going to have a little bit of a wider, we're going to use the 1 turn on this, so we're going to say allow it to shoot at anything within a 90-degree zone, because we use the 1 turn. There we go, but it's still going to have to be in front of it. Okay, so let's just plan this part of it first. So if we say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a couple of thins, a fuel tank and a 1 turn. In front, an infrared. We won't worry about the camera on this one, and we're just going to have a very simple fragment and explosive warhead. We'll put an explosive there, and we'll put a fragment just here with about a 30-degree cone. And what have we got left? We've got one left, which is going to be a target precision. Let's see how fast that goes in the water. Now no, we're missing one thing important here. Don't take off the target precision, and I'm going to put in a, it is important to have the ballast tank. The other good thing about a ballast tank is, for torpedoes, is when they're in the water as a torpedo, they will go faster. I know that sounds daft, but if they're just constantly jumping out of the water, they go quite slow. So let's just see how fast we can get that. I can always put the target precision in with possibly the fins later on, or change one thing just to do that. Maybe I would take out a warhead. We'll see how they work. Right, we'll need to assign these to, say, number 4. I don't know if our guy's going to be close enough, but let's have a go. No, he's not going to be close enough. So what we're going to have to do is quickly take this out of the water again. We'll do a control, give him a second chair just for testing purposes. Put him in this chair. There we go. Now when we do this, and I get down here, oh, I need some ammo barrels to recharge, so I can do a second test. Fire! Right. What speed are we getting to there? Forward velocity 30. That's not too bad. That's quite good. That's 30, which was our target. What's the range? Range is quite good. Okay, let's just see if we can get a little bit more speed. Sacrifice a couple of things for speed. We've got very good range here, so that's not going to be a problem. Okay, let's just come out of the water. Out of the water. So to get speed on these, we might be actually at the limit of our speed, but we'll just try and put another propeller in there. If we can get to 32 or so, that would be good. Propeller, there we go. We will move everything down. So I'm going to go for the explosive there, but have a ballast tank there with the 2, put the 1 turn. I'm moving everything up basically. So I can get one more propeller in there. Okay, so that's minimalized as far as that goes, and it could fire, because it's going to reload reasonably quickly. It should be able to fire them at a reasonable rate, hopefully. Okay, let's try that one more time. Let's see what speed we're getting now. Has that made much of a difference? 24.9. Has that actually got slower? How has that got slower? That can't be right, surely. Was it because it's trying to go down? Maybe I was angling downwards when I shot it, so it's actually trying to go into the water. Okay, we'll try that one more time then. We'll try it from that sort of direction. Aiming roughly level. Fire! Okay, yes, they're going quite well in the air. Let's let them come out of the air. Okay, now we've got some speed at a normal target. 37, 36, 38. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. And we've got a reasonable distance there as well. Yeah, up to 38 on our speed. That covers us, because we were saying a 30 meter. 30 meters per second. So it just depends on where the aiming. If you aim down, that's why those other ones were going a little slow. Okay, that's adequate. So we'll make one minor change. I might put one fin, so that'll take it. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Weapon system number 2 done. We'll just get rid of that chair. We need to put a AI control, local weapon controller, and we need to put a failsafe in case we get any damage to these. These are going to be near the top, and we need to obviously put that wireless receiver on here. Okay, so these ones are going to be maximum speed to engage is going to be up to 40. I think they might be able to do them if they're on a shelter. We'll put it on 35 for the moment, so they'll fire when the target's at 35 potentially. Yeah. Maximum altitude, again, we don't want it attacking things which are out of the water. There we go. Maximum minimum range 50 will do. And here we want a maximum range. It seemed to be quite good actually at range, so we'll give it a good 800. So it'll be firing these basically as it's closing. So that means, now one thing here, we want to make sure that when we're firing these, we're not running over them as we're firing them. So one thing we'll have to do is our ship speed, although we had aimed at about 40, we'll have to have a check on that. We'll see what we can get out of this ship anyway, but we might aim for about maybe near a 35. Otherwise, all that's going to happen is we'll run these over and blow ourselves up. These ones will only fire when we go into our slow mode. So they're set at 300, and at 300 I'm going to reduce my speed down. So the speed will get reduced at 300 meters and we'll go into underwater mode just at the same time as it fires all these missiles. That's the idea anyway. Okay, so we've got some chasing missiles, some chasing torpedoes, hopefully to take out any weapons or propellers etc on the target. So the idea is they will chase up behind it and hopefully hit whatever's at the rear, which would be propellers. So it sort of makes sense. Next, we will need to armour this a little bit. Yes, we're getting a lot of metal here. More metal than I would like, I guess, but hey ho. Right, well, there, and a little bit over here just as a bit of protection. There we go. Now this will be near the top, I think, of our craft. So potentially we'll have the decking at that level. So what have we got left to do? Gun, which I might put somewhere over here, and the engines. Right, let's get rid of these ammo barrels for a second. We will need to armour our AI area, so we'll just put a load of metal on the top of that. And we might put wood, start putting wood in now. We might just put some metal on that, and there, and the rest of it's going to be wood, just to cover it up. We'll possibly use something different there. I'll work on that in a second. Some blocks and some number 2 slopes. So engines. We're running out of space to put things now. We might have to go backwards a little bit. How much power are we going to need? Now, a huge propeller takes about 40 or 50. We're going to need some resource processors, ammunition processors. They're going to take, what is it? I think about 20. So let's say we have a couple of them. Let's think, what else do we gonna need? So we're gonna need about 200 power. Oh, then need a shield. A shield. So yeah, okay, let's say 500 power. Let's see if we can do it on 500. So engine now. Okay, so let's see, 500. Two cranks. We've got a bit of width here, so but we haven't got much height. Yeah, we'll go like that. I'm not worried about some engine bits sticking through here, actually. Let's just see what we can do with this crankshaft. Let's see if we can make a boxer. Not the most efficient of designs. And I've forgotten the mirror line. Let's put the mirror line on, shall we? No, that's not right. Come on, mirror line down there. Thank you. Right, some carburetors. Go on the top as well, and let's get some superchargers in. Where are we? There. That's on a 3. I like to put the superchargers in where there's the maximum number of carburetors, which is those points, and then let's put some fuel tanks around on the other bits. And see how that does for us. Let's see how much power we've got. A couple in the centre. Can always go up one. Let's just see how much power that is at the moment. 311. Not enough. Not enough. Need more power. More power. How's that doing? We've got some down there we can get away with. 562. Okay. That's good enough. That's our power level I was after. Better put some armour around there, and we're going to have to obviously elongate it a little bit now. There. Maybe put wood there. I'll check in a minute. Let's just finish off this rear blocks. Metal blocks. This is a lot more metal than expected. This is no longer a starter ship. This will take a bit of. It's certainly not a throwaway ship anymore. I know I was going to make it cheap. Hey ho, never mind. I always have plans to make things cheaper than they actually are. It always seems to get a little bit more expensive once you start putting them all together. But that's the nature. Now, just a quick little thing here. We'll need some resources. We will need a fuel storage for the engine. We'll just put that down there, and a fuel processor right in the centre, just there. That will keep it running. Won't worry about that for the moment. That's going to be control blocks all around here and everything and all that type of stuff. That's enough room there. What are we left with? A gun and the drive, and getting it to actually go fast would be a good one as well. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Hello and welcome back. I've just done a bit of work on the propulsion and control systems offline. It was a little bit of boring sort of balancing of hydrofoils and jet engines and etc. So what have we got? Right, we've got, it's just turning around for a run in its high speed mode, which it is at the moment. It's getting up to, yeah, we're seeing 35, 36 meters a second, and allowing, we've got to put a bit more weight on it, which will bring it down to maybe about 30. It's not tending to do the wheelies just at the moment, so we've got some hydrofoils at the front and also in the middle, because I had to make it go up roughly centrally, but these ones at the front just make it pop out a little bit out of the water. We've got obviously a number of control blocks, because this is run on control blocks very much so. So speed wise, first of all, it's going to be based mainly upon enemy distance. So that's where most of the control blocks are going to work on this. Let's get to the right place. Where are we? Down here. So first of all, if it's further than 320, which is the distance I've set, go full speed. That's the simple one. Then up here, if it's less than 320, just cut out the jets. So that will effectively bring it into water mode, which brings it down to about 16 meters a second, but is more maneuverable. As you can see, it's a bit erratic because it's flying now, which is good. It's fast but erratic, which means that gunshots might have a problem trying to track it, which is also a bonus. Okay, what other control blocks have we got based on range? Another one set on range is if it gets really close, it will go to its turtle position of under the water. It will do a minus 45 degrees, which should make it go under the water a little bit. We might have to tune that once we've got all of the weight in here. And what else do we have? What else do we have? The other side is the other way around. So this is all about the hydrofoils. So by default, it's going to set the hydrofoils to go up. And there's a delay on this of 1 second. To stop the wheelies, if the pitch angle goes above 10 degrees up, it will set the hydrofoils down again. So the hydrofoils, when it pitches up, the hydrofoils get set down again. That stops it doing the wheelies, or helps to stop it doing the wheelies. So that's those at this moment. So that seems to be working reasonably when it does its long run. Should we just send it on now? And then once it's close, it will slow down and be more accurate. Okay, so that's good. Torpedo systems are in. We need to test them, obviously, which will be next on the list. Not next on the list. Next on the list is the secondary weapon. So this is where we were going to have a secondary cannon system, primarily for close range and air-to-air defense. So we're going to create a little cannon here. We're going to use the same control block we are using for the high-speed torpedoes. So we'll give that a quick little adjustment. Now what we can do is we can create a roughly a pintle mount. So we'll create a precision turret. What's the main? It's got to be within 2, so that's as far away as it can be. So it's got to be there. There we go. Any further away, and this would know. So this is now controlling 2 weapons because it sees this as a second weapon. Okay, right. Simple. It's going to be a simple. Start that one again, Derek. Simple single gun. I think will be perfectly adequate for here. We're going to have that height, go back a bit. We're just going to have it at this level. It can go back behind a bit and then forward up there. So we do that over the back style, which has worked very well in other places. Firing piece. We're going to make it accurate, fast firing. I think little bit of HE, but mainly armor piercing. Primary targets are aircraft. It's going to have a very high elevation. So an elevation barrel, let's have about 1, 2, 3, about that many of those, and then we'll put some recoil suppression barrels on here. We'll try 5. What does 5? I want to keep the 80 degree. That's 45. So take one off, and we should be at 80. So that's that. What's the accuracy? 3.08. Not very good accuracy. But yeah, I'd have to elongate this a little bit further, which I think is gonna, yeah, that's gonna take too much, so we won't worry about that. Okay, let's just give this a little bit of a workover. We'll put a predictor on there because I always like a predictor. Don't need a predictor, I just like having a predictor. Right, ammo boxes, or auto loaders first. Auto loaders for the ammo. Right, so we will set these in the right way. There we go. So we'll get one there. Won't be able to put anything there. We can put something there though. Now from memory, let's put one there and one the other side and see what firing rate we get. Custom cannons, ammo boxes. We can get an ammo box, oops, in there. This isn't going to be a full pintle mount, so I haven't got to worry about thing. This is the maximum size because of this block here. That's as maximum as far as I can go forward. That's giving me a reload time of 127, which isn't great. So if there's a sneak here, if I just put the auto loader, let's get orientated correctly using this view. There we go. Get an auto loader in there. Yes, that works out nicely. So that does it without actually increasing the ammo count though. So 4 boxes, ammo use 0.4. Okay, 0.4, that's going to be good enough for the moment. We'll make sure that this does turn in a bit, but we'll sort that out in a little while. Okay, we're going to need a bit more ammo than that, because we'll put let's see, we can get a 6-way there. Actually, in fact, what we can do is put one of these here, there, and put a couple more ammo boxes in. Whoops, don't put one on the front. Could put one on the front actually, extend that out a little bit. 0.23, that's quite good. Now we'll put some alternative items in, some hikes, some let's see, bit of armor piercing, and then a bit of explosive near the rear. What's that giving us? AP's not brilliant, but okay. Explosives there, but reloads there. Okay, now we just armor this up a little bit with some metal blocks. Nothing too heavy, I don't think. I think I'll keep it simple, he says, as he starts loading it up with metal. Yeah, we'll just go for a fairly square chunk of iron on this, I think. There. Anything else? Let's see, a metal block in there. Some blocks just around the front. Couple here. That should be. Yep, okay, I'm just making sure. Give it a few slopes. Don't like not having the slopes on it. Doesn't look right. Okay, so that's a little gun on the front with a little bit of armour. That's cool. I might stylize some of the rear on this as well. Okay, that's the main gun. Let me just quickly have a bit of a go at some of the looks, and then we'll see if these guns and everything, first of all, let's just see if that's affected the speed. Generally, no, that looks okay. It's getting up to 41 there actually, a high spot. And we've got a bit of room, so for high explosive, some ammo barrels and some processors and possibly a shield or two on the front. Okay, let me just sort out the hull, give it a turtle feel, clean out some of the sharp edges, and then we should be ready for some battle testing. And let's see how this beauty works. See you soon. And welcome back. The more observant of you would have noticed that when I built that turret I actually built it backwards. So I had to redo the turret. Nothing real major change, I just mucked around with a few items on it. I'm sure you can take it apart. Roughly the same. So we've got a nice little turtley look with the wood on top. Just for fun. Might as well. Gives it that little bits of horns. Yeah, I like it. It gives it a little ablative armour. Still got a reasonable speed, which is also good. We'll just make sure we are in a combat zone area. Yeah, we're actually aimed. You know, turning circle is not great on this. The AI, just to go through that before we start the combat and see how this actually performs with all these settings, is set for 400 meters and a 25 broadside. The 25 is the idea being that it will go for that 25 to fire the high performance. Let's just change that to 300 meters. The torpedoes. I'm going to set this at 250. It will fire them close to 200 and then it will turn, try and get back to 300. So it will keep on going in and out, and in that time, hopefully, it will then come back in again and start attacking again. So we're going to see how that works with the big torpedoes. Obviously, the small torpedoes and the gun, not an issue. Other than that, the only problem at the moment with this gun is that I've thought about is this here is set to have a maximum altitude, and if I want it to fire against aircraft I can't have the maximum altitude. Now it means I will waste some torpedoes to ensure that this shoots at aerial targets, but that's the only problem at the moment. So we're just going to set that to 300. So, bit of a problem, but not a major one. I might just have a quick go at what I can do to minimise that is reduce the height at which these will fire. I.e. it's got to be within a certain angle at the front. So that will stop it firing at aircraft directly above. Okay. We'll just quickly save this. PT Pursuit is our new name for it, and now we shall give it some combat. So let's see what we can go. Right, first of all, we're going to give it the ubiquitous Marauder, which is a good test as to how quickly can it take out a Marauder. So it should start to hopefully close on it. I want to see, make sure it's got shields. Will come on at 700 meters away, so we'll know when we get to 700 meters. The only other bit is I'll put failsafe, and when the shields come on, I want to make sure that they do not impact on the failsafe. All right, there's the shields come on. Is anything firing? Nothing at this second is firing at us. Oh, they worked. The high speed ones, and he's gone underwater. Now, has the other ones underneath firing for no reason, or have they just fired? Have they just fired? Have they just fired? I think they fired. I think they fired. I missed it. I missed it. How bloody annoying. Right, is my gun shooting at anything? No, the gun is not shooting. Why is the gun not firing? Or has it already destroyed everything? Let's have a look. Gun. You're still alive, so why are you not firing? Let's have a look. It's going to be one of those weird reasons. What was the weird reason the other time when I worked out why it was not firing for some unknown reason? I can't remember what it was now. Right, that should be fine. Receiving on channel, that should be fine. 50, 800 meters, yeah. Minimum range 50 and maximum range. Minimum altitude, no limit. Maximum altitude, yeah. Speed, he's not showing up on the list here for some reason. There is no target indicator, which would seem to suggest that the AI does not see it as a target. Let's have a look at the algorithm here. It's showing it there. Let's make sure our radio is... Have we got a transmitter? Did I put a transmitter on here? Did I not put a transmitter on here? Wireless transmitter. I'm not sure why the other ones then fired. If this didn't have a transmitter, that sounds better. There we go. So those ones that fired out the front were the thing. Now, okay, problems then. Initially, it's... Oh, gun's doing quite nicely. I like the gun, Nothing wrong with that. It's getting far away, which is cool, because it's got a distance. There's the high-speed Torps now firing quite nicely. And we're coming in with guns, and we should get a launch. There we go. There is a launch from the high-speed torpedoes. They come in quite nicely. Now it should run away. So what range are we at now? We are at, whoops, about 130 meters. So it should be now trying to run away from the target. Let's just get onto it again. So it should go underwater and run away, which is fine because it's got to reload all of the main gun, the main ammo for those ones. It's not quite quick enough under the water though, by the looks of it. So that's why it's taking a little bit of time, but the gun is still firing. Did we do some damage with those big torpedoes? Whoops. Let's use the Q button. And that went to the wrong one. Okay, let's go back to our guy, see how he's doing. So he's now coming up onto the surface to get a bit of distance. There we go. So now we're going to watch him do this again. Has he reloaded? He's just about reloaded with missiles, so this timing could be right. Right, there's the high-speed torpedoes fired. They'll make their way back in, hopefully. Now we're coming in, and this is where he needs to fire about now then. So there's them fired, and there was the high-speed ones just coming in behind. And oh, yes, they've done a fair bit of damage there. That was not inconsiderable. Let me just get off that there. Yes, those missiles did a fair bit of damage there. I like those. That seemed to work. Now, the only thing is they could fire a little earlier, I reckon. That range of the main torpedoes is a little short. So let's try and find that just quickly. Come on. It's a pain trying to get through these sometimes. Which one am I in the wrong one? That's why it went wrong. No, okay. Let's see, 300, so let's make that 400. And we need to make it so that once it's done its turn, it comes out of the water a little quicker, I reckon. Let's just check what range is it at the moment. So it's at 250. Yeah. So it needs to do that stop and turn a little bit quicker. So what we're going to do is let's just see how this goes in one more time. See those nice big missiles coming in. Is that the high-speed missiles or the ones? Okay, so we need the point where it goes underwater a little earlier, I think. And then it's turn around from the AI a little later. So, ooh, got a bit of lag there. So, what we will do is set that to be 300. And here, our minimum range, we are going to increase to 300 and enter broadside at 400. There we go. Now, yeah, let's see how that works. And now I need it to go to the high speed at 300 now, just to well, in fact, we can, just as a quick one, we could not worry about the, where's the one for speed? That one does that. Right, only do that at 250. 250. No, that's the wrong one. 300. Oh. Keep on selecting the wrong one, I think. Right, okay. If it goes below 250, 200. Okay, let's see how this works now. So it's a little bit of adjustment needed on those. Right, we'll ignore salvage. Let's give it a new target. Quickly save it. Okay, so it gets blown the crap out. Okay, so just let it just arm itself again. Then we'll give it a nice white flares target, shall we? Okay, so it should be going back to its start position. It looks quite good. It's got a good speed there. I like this. Takes a little while to get its ammo reserves back. That's a minus point, but you know, it's not gonna be in there for a long battle. I don't think. Whoop, we're getting a bit of lift there. A bit of lift. Oh well, that does happen. Can't have everything now. So we will have some erratic flight on occasion. There's nothing like having a bit of a fun ship, you know. Can't be perfect. Absolutely not. I have to have some erratic motions. There's a couple of bits I've forgotten, repair bots, but we'll do them in a bit. Okay, let's see. White flares. Let's go against let's try a dark hammer. Because we've seen a few of those in there. They're not necessarily a fast ship, which we will try next, but let's just see it against a dark hammer. See how it does. This is more a damage. Can it take the damage as well as dish a little out? But it did well against that Marauder, so I think it's suitable. Let's see how it goes in. It's coming in quite nicely. I'll come off that. Oh, we've got high-speed missiles fired. Still coming in. Still coming in. And down we go. No. Oh, they've launched into the air. Okay, we've done and we've almost blown ourselves up. Okay, that's unexpected. I think possibly one of my settings a little wrong there on one of these about hydrofoil angles. Did I set the wrong value? No, if under. That should be right. Let's see how these missiles do, see if they are able to track. Yeah, they seem to be tracking quite nicely. And yeah, that's those angles. Yes, they were very effective. They cut through that very nicely. I like that. I like that. We're still having a bit of a go, but that did a significant amount of damage to that there. No complaints on that. Just ammo. Okay, that's enough, I think, for the moment. That's a shown it as a capable build. Not perfect, but capable of doing what we needed to. We'll test it on with some faster ships later on, but it survived against a Dark Hammer, and this would be a flight of aiming to be a flight in a squadron, so there'll be a couple of them working together, hopefully. So if one gets taken out, the other one will keep going. So hopefully that's a little different. A couple of screenshots. Any comments? Please leave them down below. I was going to say about, I've used a lot of wood on this. Some people said, oh, why am I using a lot of wood? I'll repeat that again. To give it the turtle shape, because it's got to have that shape. Also, it looks like a shell. And also, I like the wood as ablative armour, effectively. I think it works quite well. It's cheap to replace for the bots, etc. So it works well in that ablative type of system. Okay, any comments? Please leave below. Otherwise, subscribe to hear when the next one's. In the previous video, let us know which ship I should work on next. But until next time, have fun.